Why did an entire city dance themselves to death? How did a 14-pound sphere of plutonium earn the nickname the Demon Core? And why did two children with green skin suddenly appear in a medieval English village, speaking a language no human had ever heard? Today, we're diving into 5 facts that shouldn't be possible, but they are. Stay tuned, because the secret of the Flannan Isles Lighthouse is something you won't believe. 1945, Los Alamos, New Mexico. The atomic bombs had already fallen, but scientists were still playing with fire. Inside a top-secret lab sat a 14-pound sphere of solid plutonium. Its name was Rufus, but it was about to earn a much darker title. 2 men would face this silent killer. 2 men would make the same fatal mistake. And the core, it was just waiting for a slip of a hand. Then it happened. The screwdriver slipped. In a fraction of a second, a blinding flash of blue light filled the room. A wave of heat hit Slotin's face. He jerked the dome away with his bare hands, stopping a total disaster, but it was too late. He looked at his colleague and said quietly, "Well, that does it." He knew he had just tickled the dragon's tail, and the dragon had bitten back. 9 days later, Louis Slotin died in agony. The radiation had melted his body from the inside out. He wasn't the first, and he wasn't the last. But after his death, the 14-pound sphere was never touched by human hands again. It was melted down and recycled into other nuclear weapons. The Demon Core was gone, but its legacy of terror remains. Fact number 2. July 1518. In the sweltering heat of Strasbourg, France, a woman named Frau Trophea stepped into the street and began to dance. There was no music, no celebration, just a silent, frantic twisting of her body. She danced until she collapsed in a pool of sweat, only to wake up and start again. For 6 days, she was alone, but then it spread like a virus. Within a week, 34 people had joined her. By the end of the month, 400. The city was a sea of jerking limbs and hollow eyes. Authorities were terrified. They thought the only cure was more dancing. They built a wooden stage and hired musicians to keep the rhythm going, but it only fueled the fire. People were dancing until their shoes filled with blood, their ribs snapped, and their lungs failed. At its peak, 15 people were dying every single day. Hearts literally burst inside their chests. To this day, science can't explain if it was ergot poisoning from moldy bread or a massive psychological break. But one thing is certain, they didn't stop until the last beat of their hearts. Fact number 3. The Green Children of Woolpit. In the 12th century, during harvest time in an English village, 2 children emerged from a pit used for catching wolves. They looked human except for one thing. Their skin was bright, neon green. They wore strange clothing made of unknown materials and spoke a language that no scholar in England could recognize. They refused all food until they were shown raw beans, which they ate frantically. They refused all food until they saw raw green beans, which they ate frantically. Eventually, the girl learned English and told a story that made their skin crawl. She said they came from St. Martin's Land, a world of eternal twilight where the sun never rises. To this day, we don't know if they were from another dimension or something else. Fact number 4, the ghost stars. When you look at the night sky, you're not looking at the present. You're looking at a graveyard. Because light takes millions of years to travel across space, many of the stars you see tonight have already exploded and died. You are staring at the light of things that no longer exist. The final mystery takes us to December 1900 at the Flannan Isles Lighthouse. A supply ship arrived at the remote island, but no one was there to greet them. No flag was raised, no signal was given. When the rescuers entered the lighthouse, they found a scene that defied logic. The door was locked from the inside. In the kitchen, a meal was left on the table, as if 3 men had simply vanished into thin air in the middle of dinner. But it gets weirder. 2 of the 3 oilskin coats were missing, meaning one man must have run out into a freezing storm without his gear, something a professional keeper would never do. And then there was the logbook. The final entries described a storm so terrifying that the men were crying and praying. But here's the problem. According to weather reports, there was no storm in that area on those dates. The sea was calm. 3 experienced men disappeared from a locked lighthouse, leaving behind a half-eaten meal and a story of a storm that never happened. To this day, no bodies have ever been found. Were they swept away by a rogue wave, or did the island itself take them? Some secrets are meant to stay lost at sea. Which of these facts kept you up tonight? Let us know in the comments.